Okay, I'm back again. I decided to come because I forgot something I was supposed to tell you guys a long time ago. So I'm gonna wait for people to come in so that they know what I'm talking about. And unfortunately, I do have food in front of me, so I'm gonna tell you my vaccination wahala. I wanted to do this on YouTube, but I haven't found the time, so I was like, let me just do it here today because it's been on my head. So they gave me the wrong vaccine in asterisks. So I want to tell the story of how I was given the wrong vaccine, a misinformed consent situation. And I'm a medical doctor, so this hits really quite hard at home, considering, what I expected of the health center. Oh, my mic is not working. Hold on. If you can hear me, let me know. Is my mic working? Sorry about that. Alright, I'm taking this off. I'm gonna start all over again. So yes, I'm gonna start all over again. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me. I have to take this off now. Apparently my mic wasn't working. So now my mic is working. So I wanted to share the story of how they gave me the wrong vaccine. And for those who don't know me or who have been following me but don't know who the hell this person is, I practice as a medical doctor. Yes, I do eat a lot of food and stuff, but all of that is just for Instagram. It's not reality or a section of reality. So I normally know personally that I react to vaccines with little, fever, pain, etc. I'll fall sick. I have that kind of history with some vaccines. So why are you calling me? Don't call me, Joey. Joey, why are you calling me on my phone when I'm on live? Don't call me. You can hear me now. Don't call me. Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me? Chanel, if you guys can hear me, let me know. Can you guys hear me? I'm not too sure. Ooh. Is anyone on here? Yeah, you can hear me. So please do not call me on my phone. Please don't call me. Alright, so you can hear me now. So let's not interrupt the story. So let's get into it. So as I was saying, I normally may react to vaccinations. And this is not me being anti-vax or anything. I am for the vaccinations. But with the vaccinations in UK here, we have the AstraZeneca. And then we have the Pfizer that they were given. So my hospital arranged for vaccines to be given, and it was AstraZeneca. So I did my research, I read on it. My nurses and other nurses in the hospitals went for the AstraZeneca. 99.99% of them all reacted and were sick. Sick in the sense that they were broken down, they were sick for days, they were having fever, body pains. Some were days, some were a bit longer, but mostly a few days they were sick, they couldn't come to work, etc. So they reacted to it. And I normally, knowing that I react to vaccines out of the blue, I knew that if I do go for AstraZeneca, most likely I have the reactions that most of the nurses and the staff are having. Yeah, I did do my hair up a bit. Chana boy kakra. So yeah, so this is just a story time about how they gave me the wrong vaccine in the UK. So I knew this AstraZeneca would be problematic for me if I go for it. So I was trying to get the Pfizer vaccine. So I did my research, had to find out where they give the Pfizer vaccine, which area will give the Pfizer vaccine. So I went to the NHS website, etc., etc. Long story short, I had to go through my GP. So I spoke to my GP, told them that I want the Pfizer vaccine. They said, okay, A, B, and C place, which is in Birmingham. I'm not sure if I should mention the hospital because the situation is still being taken back and forth. So I won't mention the hospital I had it at. So it's a hospital in Birmingham I had it at. So they said, oh, we'll book you at this hospital in Birmingham where you can have the vaccination done. So I go for my appointment in the afternoon. prepared, took my paracetamol and went. So when I went there, so as a doctor, before we give you a vaccine or anything, as a healthcare professional, before you give you a vaccine or anything, most people will tell you what vaccine it is, etc., etc. But sometimes because you're already in the health system, you overlook these kind of things, because I was not enthused with the whole place. It was just like, I wanted to get it all over with, because I don't like injections and all I don't even like being in the hospital, and I'm a doctor, I'm telling you for real. I don't like hospital. Like, if I'm going to the hospital, I don't like it. But if I'm going there to work, I have to be there for work. But aside that, I have spent very little time being in hospital premises, so I don't like hospital premises. So I go in, they take my name, take my details, they give me documentation. All documentation say Pfizer, blah, blah, blah. They mention you're going to get the Pfizer vaccine. The person in front of me, Pfizer vaccine documentation. The person behind me, Pfizer vaccine documentation. So this is an informed consent. Informed consent means you've been told what you've been given, and you acknowledge that, yes, this is a vaccine you want. So I have given my informed consent of the vaccine that they should give to me. So what happened was, I'm in line, everyone is in line, Oyibo is in front, Oyibo behind me, everybody is given the same vaccine. Then I go into a specific room. So when I go into the specific room, they take my details. What's your name, your age, your date of birth, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes on to say, okay, do you have any allergies to any vaccines? Which I say, I do not have an allergy to vaccines. Although I may react, but I know I'm on the Pfizer. At least I haven't had a lot of people having reactions to the Pfizer vaccine. So that is what it is. My food is getting cold, but this story is juicy. So what happened next? This guy just takes it and says, okay, just look at the rubbish. Like, nigga, I'm a doctor. Like, oops, sorry, man, I'm a doctor. Like, I know how to take injections and all of that. So, so he distracted me and then gave me the shot. And then they wrote on a piece of paper and gave to me. So me being a doctor, they knew I was a health worker as well, because they gave specific documentation for health workers. So they gave me the shot and they gave me a form of paper and write my details on it. I think it's just the usual. They write the vaccine you've been given, and so I'm thinking, I've got my Pfizer vaccine. I'm just gonna go home and take my paracetamol again, because when you take paracetamol before and after, it helps with the pain in the arm. It helps if you get some fever, etc. Because fever, etc. is the most common side effects people get. So on my way home, something hit me up. I was like, yo, bro, check your card and be sure if they gave you the Pfizer vaccine. Mind you, from the moment I got to the place to the moment I was given the shot, or no, before I was given the shot, all documentation, all verbal communication, all consent given was Pfizer vaccine. Then I wish I had my papers, I had the papers around, but I put it somewhere. I take out the card, and guess what they have on it? My name and the vaccine they give me, and the vaccine is AstraZeneca. So they gave me the wrong vaccine that I didn't consent to. So this is what you call a misinformed consent. That is when you haven't consented to a specific thing and they give you something of their own volition, meaning they made a mistake on their side. So I thought, oh, maybe it's a clerical error. Maybe they made a mistake in writing. So immediately I got home, I was calling the GP, I was calling the hospital, trying to figure out what was going on, going back and forth. Everyone was like, huh, what's going on? Only to find out that, honestly, it took about 24 hours to 48 hours to find out exactly what I was being given, what I had been given. Mind you, immediately after that, the fever had already started setting in. Pain in the hands had already started setting in. I was getting weak. My body was getting warm. I literally started getting ill. Not psychological. Nothing to do with that. I was actually getting sick. So 24, 48 hours, I found out from my GP, from the documentation, that they have received that, yes, I have been given the AstraZeneca vaccine, which I did not consent to. So now the battle began to figure out what the fuck happened. How the fuck did they make such a mistake? Considering that this is something that is like, wow, how could you have made such an error? So I had to now dig deeper, because I am someone who is very, like, I'll dig deep. I would dig deep. I have time. I have time, and I love writing emails. My emails are just beautiful. I know how to write emails to get what I need and get my point across. So the back and forth began. But before the back and forth, I'm going to go back a bit. From the moment I got the shot to about 48 hours, I started getting sick when they gave me the AstraZeneca vaccine. I started getting sick. Everyone said, oh, it takes 1 day, 2 days to get better. So I thought, oh, 1 day, 2 days, I'll get better. I started thinking, oh, I'll get better. Mind you, I'm the type of person that even if I fall sick, I am going to go to work. I'm that type. If I'm sick, I'll go to work because I am a workaholic. Fact. When it's work, I have to do my work because that is it. So I was sick. I was broken. I was getting broken down, like getting more feverish and weaker. And this extended past 2 days, 3 days, getting worse, 4 days, 1 week. I literally would walk a few meters and I'm not breathless. I was never breathless. So you can't say what signs of COVID. But I was dizzy, exhausted. You know how you have malaria and you have that febrile weakness of malaria. Now imagine having that times 10 in feeling and you have it for an extended 1 month plus period. So after that vaccine, which I had in February, I was sick for 1 full month. This is not COVID. I think I've had COVID twice, and before COVID was even COVID, that January 2019, I had it, and that I knew I had because that way I was sick, no one knew what it was, and it was really bad. But I've had COVID before. But this wasn't COVID. This wasn't that, let's say I took the vaccine and I got COVID. Yo, that AstraZeneca vaccine messed me up. I'm not joking. It messed me up. Like 1 whole month, like I still had to go to work, but I will tell you that that month I took Uber like more than a prostitute going on a job. I had to be on Uber like nobody's business. Sorry, I had to go on that profane way, but like I was Ubering from just one point to another. I wasn't breathless. I would walk. I was never out of breath. And there was fever. There was a bit. Was there a cough? I don't recall. Not really a cough here and there, but it wasn't cough. But I'm walking and I'm dizzy. I'm about to collapse. I'm febrile, which I'm feeling hot, like feverish. I'm weak. I'm lethargic. I'm restless. Like it was a whole plethora of issues culminating in a month plus. So I had to now call my GP. They had to do tests. They found out there was some inflammation markers in there. That means there was some focus of infection, but they can't tell which focus of infection or the infection was. So all I had to do was take paracetamol, drink a lot of water, physically try and get myself moving and active back again. So I wrote my emails to try and figure out how this happened. The idiots sent an email back with some nonsense. You guess what they said? They said, oh, you guys, when you came in at 2:00 for your vaccine and you were in line, when it got to your turn, the AstraZeneca vaccine finished. No, the Pfizer vaccine finished and we started giving the AstraZeneca vaccine. Mind you, they do not mix vaccines in centers unless it's designated so. If it's AstraZeneca on that day, it's AstraZeneca on that day. If it's Pfizer on that day, it's Pfizer on that day. So they gave that stupid reason, which is, listen to how stupid it was. Oh, when it got to your turn, the Pfizer vaccine got finished, so we gave you the AstraZeneca vaccine. But after we gave you the AstraZeneca vaccine, that one person, they gave the AstraZeneca vaccine. Oh, the AstraZeneca vaccine got finished. And then we started a Pfizer. That is a stupid excuse that they gave me. That the moment I got my AstraZeneca vaccine, they stopped and then they gave the Pfizer vaccine. Absolutely stupid reason that they gave to me. And I was going back and forth with them and they've not really been communicating. So here it's very difficult to get legal issues like that because NHS has already been protected and stuff. But I'm still trying to get the legalities of it. So what I did next was I filed for a freedom of information, which now pushes them to give me information specific to what I'm asking. Because you saying that when I got in, the Pfizer got finished, and you put me on AstraZeneca without my consent. I was sick for 1 month. And with my job, I can't, like if I fall in sick, I don't get paid. I get statutory pay, a whole lot of stupid shit with my job. So I have to be at work. And I had to physically go, irrespective. I was very sick. Everyone around me knew I was sick. My nurses knew I was sick. Everyone was telling my girl I was sick. But I had to push. And it wasn't COVID, so don't get me wrong. So, long story short, I have filed a Freedom of Information asking for specifics. So these are my specifics. I asked them basically on what, like, terms, like how many people got this at that time, how many people got that at that time, the demographics, the race, the age, and the time periods that they stated that I was there and given, how many people received this or that. So I want to know if maybe I was the only black person that received it at that day. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not to say don't go for vaccines. The vaccines are very good. They would help you. Not like, it won't prevent you from getting the COVID. It will prevent your chance of getting it, yes. It will also prevent your chance of having severe, effects of getting coronavirus. But as of now, we are now in the cesspool test phase where everybody outside is open and we're trying to figure out what happens based on those who've been immunized and those who haven't, and natural selection will take its course and we'll see what Boris will do after everything is said and done. So what I'm just trying to say is that with these vaccines, you have to be careful. Research on what vaccine you want if you have the option of the different vaccines, and choose wisely, or hopefully get the one that you want. But I really, it took me a long time. Like, it took me almost 3 months to get back that confidence to go for the second dose. So my second dose period elapsed more than most. So I just recently, I had my second dose like last week. So February to last week. That's how much it played on me. Like, I was very scared. I'm not going to lie to you. I was scared because people had reactions, clots, heart attacks, etc. from having the vaccine. That doesn't mean people wouldn't have these heart attacks and stuff, irrespective. It's not a vaccine that may have led it, but a vaccine may have precipitated it, because there is some literature on that, but it's not an expansive literature on it, since this is very new kind of scope. So this story time was just to get this out there, because I told you guys I'll tell you my vaccine story, and every time I've been busy, but today I wanted to share that vaccine story with you on how I got the wrong vaccine. And it was AstraZeneca instead of my Pfizer vaccine. And it wasn't an easy period for me to go through. But I don't know what stories you have concerning your vaccination and what happened when you had your vaccinations. But if you've not had your vaccinations, I would still suggest that you do go for your vaccinations if you have the opportunity to get the vaccinations. Irrespective. Second dose, I had the same AstraZeneca. They don't mix it. I called NHS helplines to find out if they mixed it, because I really didn't want to take it. I took a lot of paracetamol before I went, and I took paracetamol after. This time round, the side effect was just I had a lot of muscle ache where the injection site. Compared to the first, the pain was worse than the second, injection site-wise. There was no fever, there was nothing. But I was literally busy that week, and I was boozing a bit. So, I was numbing the pain with some OH. So that may have that may have helped that a bit with it. But they don't mix and match here. I know in America they may mix and match some of the vaccines, but over here they don't mix and match. They don't mix and match. So in short, it was a scary experience. So to the time I went for the second dose, considering how bad I felt after the first. But I still went for the second one because I work in the healthcare center, in healthcare services. So if I don't go for it, I'm exposing myself more and more to get COVID. You get it? So I ended up going. So yeah, that's my story that I've been hiding or dealing with in the background. I wanted to see what the outcome will be. And so far, they are refusing to communicate properly with me. But the freedom of information, I have 30 days that compels them to give me the information I've asked for. If they don't, then I can take them on from that point. Because why is it that you're not giving the information that I've requested? If you state what happened is what happened. You get it? When I went back for my second vaccine, there were some changes. They have now clearly demarcated areas. And if you're going for the AstraZeneca vaccine, they gave you a specific color card. So now there was actual demarcations there. So that time they made a mistake. And healthcare services normally do not accept mistakes. They are normally compelled to accept mistakes. Because if they accept a mistake, then they are liable to be sued. So you get what I'm saying? They will not accept it. They'll say, ooh, there was a blah, blah, blah. But they will not accept it in terms of saying, oh, we accept we fucked up. They won't. Because you sue them. Because they're not culpable. So you have to force them to be culpable. But that's the legal stuff. I'm not a lawyer. But from what I know, they won't accept it. So yeah, that was my story and I wanted to share with you guys. Have any of you had any scary vaccine stories would you like to share? Or you'd like to join and tell me? Yeah, so that's what happened. And I wanted to share with you guys. It's not easy. Ooh. Anyways, if that's what it is, that's all I wanted to come up out to share. I did intend on coming on again because I wanted to eat in peace, but it was too juicy for me to let it slide. Like, it just came back to mind and I was like, if I don't do it today, I'll probably never do it. So I'm gonna leave you guys, dig into my food, which is just prawns and crabs. Seasoned to perfection. Oh. If you want to see more of this mukbang, you have to go on my YouTube. But yeah, I will say this live so that you can share your vaccine stories. And whether you go for a vaccine or not, if you have the opportunity or a chance to go for it, I still advise you to go for it. You just need to take paracetamol. It helps. It helps with the fever. It helps with the pain. So that's it. I'm gonna leave you guys. And thanks for joining me in my first story time on YouTube. Now, that's my problem. You can make that a mistake and refuse to accept responsibility. And only Lord knows what happens if you get a very serious life-altering reaction from the vaccine. With the new vaccine, they have laws protecting it. They say that even if you die from it, they'll just pay you some money. So, they have some laws protecting it. That in case it causes serious harm, the company that produces it cannot be sued like that. If it causes death, they'll only get paid a settlement amount. So they've covered that legal basis. No, doesn't make them entirely culpable, if you know what I'm saying. It's because it's a new vaccine, so the legal side has to be dealt with. The legal side had to be dealt with and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles. But still, majority these are far and wide. You know, these are 1 in 1,000, 1 in a million, 1 in whatever percentage that will experience something. In every medication, there are side effects. Yeah, as a doctor, I'll tell you, with every medication, there are side effects. What does it mean if you take medication? When you take it, and you know the side effects are detrimental to your health, you will advise you not to take it. Again, like you have a severe anaphylactic reaction to something. So anaphylactic is a bad reaction in layman's term from taking a medication or having a reaction from something. So how people have allergic reactions, basically. If you have those kind of reactions, we won't continue letting you take a medication. Well, the vaccines do have side effects, yeah. Everybody's different. That shouldn't discourage you from taking it. And I know they did. If anything will happen, it will happen. You have to just hope and pray to what you believe in to protect you as well. Because it's crazy out in these streets. It's crazy out in these streets. Ooh, these ones are so hot and so good. Remind me of hot and juicy in America. Anyway, thanks for enjoying my story. I do encourage you to still take the vaccine. Do not use my story as a benchmark. I just wanted to share and be truthful. My truth. Oh my god. The pepper. Anyway, I'm about to go offline. This time for real. So I can eat. So I'll speak to you guys later. Thanks for watching.